tough questions, new insights, diverse perspectives. Welcome to Questions of the Day with Fanuel Muindi.
All right, welcome back, everybody. My name is Fanuel Muindi, and I am very excited today to be joined by Martina Efeyini. Martina, welcome to SAI TV's Questions of the Day.
Thank you for having me, Fanuel. I'm so excited to be here, and especially on this Juneteenth.
It is indeed Juneteenth, and we are going to get into that. But just to get started, Martina is a current Science News Civic Science Fellow, and we have actually had her before on SAI TV under different circumstances. But her project that she has recently just put out a video report is on helping understanding how to better engage with young people through science journalism, particularly those from historically underrepresented groups in science. And so this video report is 4 parts. It just got dropped on TikTok. So congratulations, Martina, on getting to that stage. And so we're actually going to take a quick sneak peek on that video, and then we're going to get started. So hold on to your hats. And here is Martina talking about her project.
Welcome to part 1 of my 4-part series. Hi, my name is Martina. I'm a Science News Civic Science Fellow. Last year, I put out a recruitment video on TikTok to find teens ages 11 to 17 to be a part of my focus group. Once I put that video out and reached out to different science organizations that had teens, I got good responses. I was able to talk to 44 teens about how they view science, news, journalism, and where they get their science news information. Yes, this project is about, helping science news get younger audiences, but this also might be helpful to your newsroom or other people who are looking to reach younger audiences. Because as teens, they are the experts of teens of today. And if we're going to design different news media products and we want to find out ways to engage younger audiences, we have to talk to teens of today.
And I think that's a great place to end that. Martina, I want to just start by taking a step back. Tell us how this project got started.
When I heard about the Civic Science Fellowship, I actually heard about it on Twitter. And I heard about it from Ray. She also is a science communicator. And I had reached out to her, and then I applied. And then at Science News, they never had a Civic Science Fellow before. They had mass media fellows with AAAS. But this was a different opportunity. And then I was coming from my background, being a science communicator, being a person, a Black woman, a person of color, just saying, how can I make my imprint and my impact into the world? I was okay, all of the science communication and education can come together. And I decided that, we got to talk to the Gen Zers to see what they want if we want to get our science out there. That's kind of how the project unfolded.
And that was you started this fellowship in 2021,
yeah.
Right? And from the video, you said you've talked to 44 young people under these focus groups, right? And so, in your video report, and I encourage people to go and check out the other parts. It's a 4-part series. You extracted some key insights and themes that emerged, right? And today, of all days, we're talking on Juneteenth. And one of the themes that you mentioned was the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So what were teens telling you about the importance of DEI in science, in consuming science journalism?
Yeah, they were that was the part that was the top theme across the board. Everyone was saying, identity. As I say, as a Black woman, especially as a Black woman in STEM, we lived through a pandemic. We had all this racial injustice that's happening and still happening. So it was very apparent to the young people that they feel it in their heart. So identity was important. And sometimes we think of identity oh, can I find my foundation color? But it's can I identify myself in science as a scientist? If I'm reading something and they talking about, for example, breast cancer and everything, we know the BRCA1 gene, but then we also know that people of color, they have different responses. So you might have to take tests earlier. So also the students wanted to know a lot about their reproductive system, but as a Black person, as a young Black boy or young Black girl. And they also wanted to learn more about languages, having Spanish and Portuguese, because sometimes it's not that people don't understand science, is that if science is not in the language that they're used to, And when you think about science is another language. So I speak English and I speak the language of science. So if we're not as inclusive about other languages, we'll also, not being as inclusive for people that want to understand more about science. So, every day we can find out what we can do. And that's like what a lot of the teams were saying.
Yeah. And the other themes you extracted and shared were on marketing, social media, and reliable sources. I want to get to reliable sources a little bit later. So with respect to your report, who is the target audience for the report? Is it science journals and newsrooms? Who is it? Who are you thinking about that should know these insights?
I would say the target audience for the insight, mainly, I would say it's like newsrooms, but that's not the only people that would benefit. It will also be people who want to reach young people. I know right now everyone is like, okay, Gen Z, and yes, it's Gen Z, but like what specific audience of Gen Z? And I chose to use teens because a lot of times teens of today are left out of the equation. And teens of today have very much high level insights. So if we go from, teens, eventually they're going to grow into young adults. And then, it continues and continues. So the newsroom and teens of today is my audiences. But if someone is out there and watching and say, hey, we want to reach young people, it would definitely benefit them as well.
All right. And so walk us through the logic of releasing the video, the report as a TikTok, especially, right, as a video report through that medium. Are newsrooms, for example, on TikTok? Because I think part of your initiative as well is that you want also young people to be aware of what you have been finding in addition, right, to the newsrooms, right? So walk us through that logic. Well, what are you hoping with the video report through TikTok?
So I'm hoping that on the video report, I would like see other people like chiming in and saying, okay, how can, we use this in our newsroom, or how can we, collaborate with other people? Like, how can we collaborate with like community initiatives, grassroots initiatives? Like at Science News, we have a TikTok, and I can talk about it now or later, but we have a TikTok, and for right now, we the only like newsroom about science. Like we report on science. Like there's a lot of newsrooms on TikTok, but we are very unique. So you can find information about a lot of science subjects. And then we also have Science News Explorers, which has a younger demographic. So my goal is that, all of the work that I'm doing and then the work that my colleagues are also doing, that will like reach the audiences that we hope can get this information.
Yeah, and in fact, even just appearing on Sci TV as well, that's another one of your goals of getting the word out more broadly as well. So one of the themes you found was reliable sources, right? And I think in your video, you're almost not astonished, but in a sense that the teams were saying, hey, actually, I didn't have that. I don't know of what a reliable source is when I'm trying to get news about science. Tell us more about that. What were some of those insights?
Yeah, so that was one of the things, and they were saying, okay, Encyclopedia Britannica, and I was like, I relate, because if you like a kid in the 90s, I don't know who hasn't had a copy of the Brown in their living room. So a lot of people say, but now it's digital. So that was their reliable source. And I was like, that's cool, but I kept probing them, and I say, what if it's like breaking news about science? Like, where would you get that? And they were like, I don't really know. And they were like, my teachers, maybe if I know a scientist, I would get on social media. But then they also know, like, okay, some websites are not correct. Like they know GOV, they can check the governmental sites and it's going to be accurate information. So they know that, but they were saying it was challenging to say where is like my go-to. And I feel like that's what makes, Science News and Science News Explorer so unique, is that we can be their go-to. And when I talked to them and I showed them all the different work that we have, they were like, wow, I didn't know this existed. And they said, I definitely will follow, and we definitely should do more, videos and TikToks.
Yeah. And I think that probably plays into the second point, one of the themes you found, marketing. In fact, in the comment section in your TikTok videos, people were chiming in on that fact that it's important to market to teens, targeted, right, around science, journalism. So if for those organizations, whether it's newsrooms or any initiatives that are trying to engage young people, like, so what are the action items from your report, from your insights? Like, what are some key, maybe the top action item actionable insight that you can say, hey, this is something that you should do more of? Like, what would that be?
So I would say definitely the top insight is listen to your audience and like co-design. We are both, civic scientists, and we know that with the pillars of civic science is like communication, and it's also, collaboration. A lot of times we just say, hear what, the studies say or the people say, but we're not really, getting on the ground talking to people. So we have to talk to our audience. And then also, as far as the actual step is, the goal of my project was to have a news media product. So really the report is kind of like a news media product in itself. And then also on the weekend, on Saturday, I just published on TikTok, a TikTok based on all the different feedbacks of the young people. And it's about giraffes and how that they have a blue tongue. So it's just a TikTok version, and that was just like collaboration with my colleagues at Science News Explorers and Science News, and then we came together to make that TikTok. And then I have another TikTok that I'm also working on with a colleague soon, and it's going to be about some animals. So, and that will be on screen for that one. So it's just like a lot of different things that are coming, where we are just saying, okay, how can we use this video production, short form, vertical video to really engage the audiences? And I'm just really excited about that because I realize I really do love like media. Is actually natural to me. And I'm just so grateful, to be here on SAI TV today.
Yeah, I think we're grateful to have you here and share these insights, because I think audiences, again, they're designing programs out there, right? They're targeting diverse audiences. And I think your point goes really, it's important about talking to your audience, knowing what it is, where do they go for information, right? And how can you get to how can you get information to them in a way that is accessible, right?
Yeah.
So what's next for you? I believe your fellowship is about to end soon. One for the project and one for you more broadly. What are you looking at? So let's start with the project. What happens after you're done? I believe so. Science News, your time there will formally conclude. So tell us more about that. What's going to happen to the project?
Yeah. So right now, so it's wild because in pretty much less than 3 months in September, the fellowship will be over. And of course, like a lot of my fellows, they already ended, and some of their fellowships are ending too. So just like really trying to gauge like where we want like the reporting live. So we have it like, video on TikTok, and then also trying to figure out like where we want it to go, like as far as a written form as well, because that is important. I'm a science writer, but then also Science News is a publication. So where does that live? And also last year, toward the end of last year, I was selected to write something for the Neiman Lab prediction for journalism for 2023. And I had predicted that, we have to talk to Gen Z because they are the experts of Gen Z. So that was a really good opportunity to showcase my work and to talk about the importance of co-design. So I want to like do more things like that. So if there's other publications or other places that I should look into to share my work in a written form, or also like video and audio form, I would really love to do that. And then right now also looking for the next opportunity as far as jobs go. I want to do something in science communication. I want to do something that is very creative. So it's like video, audio, written, like all these things. And I also want to do something that involves civic science.
There's a lot in there, and for those who are watching, definitely she's going to be on the market looking. She's already on the market looking for things, but also for the project as well. I think they're going to be dissecting this report in detail, right? Are there plans to write up anything formally, or is the video report kind of the main body?
Oh, we definitely want to write something formally. We're working on it just to see like what's like the best way and best avenue. So I've been like talking to different people to like see, like talking about my work, even like talk about my work today is really good and helpful for me, but also good for the people that I work with at Science News and Science News Explorers and my fellow civic science fellows. So just to keep doing that. And actually in the summer, in July, I'm going to be doing a podcast with someone else. She is also another Black woman in STEM, and she kind of has the same values as me about, representation is important. So I'm be on a podcast on that. So I will keep y'all posted. And then I have on tomorrow something is going to publish that I wrote for Science News. I'm not going to really share it because it's under embargo. but y'all can like check it out tomorrow. Yeah, so there's lots of things in the pipeline for me. And I'm just so grateful that this opportunity just led me to all these things that I could not have even imagined.
Yeah, that's Martina. We can talk all day long for sure, but we have to end it there, unfortunately. But this will not be the last time you join us here at Sci TV. We hope that there'll be many more opportunities as you publish new articles and your podcast you just mentioned, for example. Just know that the door is open here. We would love to get you on here, share your insights with our founders and other decision makers in civic science who want to basically essentially make the best decisions, right? Given the landscape that's really growing. And any last words here for those maybe who are either funders in this space? Do you want to see more? Like, what would you want to see them do more of? I asked you earlier about actionable insights, but let's think maybe for funders. Is there anything that they can help here with getting more young people watching and having accessible science journalism?
I would say, like, to funders, if they just try to find out more ways to make things open access, because in the marketing and everything and promotion, a lot of the team said, you know, money, we all know the economy, things are expensive. We're not going to lie about that. That money is important. So if we can have as much open access as possible, that would be lovely, especially to, you know, people who live in different parts of the world where the internet is not that strong. Because we also have a print edition of Science News Explorers, and we also have print of Science News. So some people like to, you know, read print, and then also some people like to listen. Just making sure we have accessibility for as many young people as possible. And I believe that's the work that I'm doing. And I just hope that funders can like say, how can I continue to do my work to support the next generation of science?
Martina Efeyini, thank you so much for joining us on the Sci TV.
Thank you.